back to the Devil Truckers channel. Truck with night transportation.
Turn right at the stop sign, then take the first left.
Banana Bob made me think that I popped my tire. How funny is that? It's because of the rotor blades. I just got a visual on it. After I, initially on the exit went a little bump there, which is in the driveway. That was just perfect time, and the way that sound hit the ground. It's like, hey, what kind of sound is that? Don't make no sense. But now I know why. It's Banana Bob. It's heading back down to yeah, I'm pretty sure to that fort, that U.S. Army air base there, right down by I-70 between Topeka and that other place. It's gonna hold its northbound course right now. Oh no, not north. Where am I here? South. So he is going west, north of the air base, and then he's gonna head back south to for final approach.
Turn left at the traffic light.
I'm pretty sure that's where he's going, because every time I pass that fort on my tours, that's where I'm observing these Banana Bobs. Just can't remember the name of that fort. Oh well. Anywho, I just got my A service done on that truck. Took about half the day. Got a loose wire on my batteries fixed, which explains my low voltage shutdowns
In
on
2
my
miles,
bike.
turn left on US 56.
And now I should hear by next week probably about my approval regarding moving on to rebuild my business and opting out just to purchase them anywhere from a 2018 all the way up to a 2021 at the newest. Used fleet equipment that been maintained on their fleet schedule. They will be having anywhere between 345,000 to 500,000 miles, maybe 470,000 if it's the original diesel under the hood. However, they have a maintenance program that you can opt for and utilize during the duration of the payment schedule. Either 2 or 3 year lease,
mile, turn left on US 56.
which coincides with, a dealership, except instead of once a month, you pay just weekly. And instead of having the interest figured into the payments, they're gonna be by the end of the term as balloon payment. However, they can be financed if
Turn
one
left
should
at the
not
stop
have
sign.
financial means to pay it right then and there with a lump sum cash. You can pay off early your equipment. There's nothing against it if you have the financial means to do so. But yeah, I am gonna basically just rebuild my company that I've been having.
Continue on US 56.
And building a small fleet, one truck at a time, and then I will per truck get some more customizations done, especially once it's free and clear. And I got the title in terms of throwing chrome and chicken lights, that kind of stuff on with the truck. Get the torque maxed out, get the horsepower maxed out, and set the governor at 80. Plenty of speed. And then I'm gonna soon thereafter buy another truck to keep building the fleet. And get drivers hired to drive these trucks for me, especially once they all customized with everything. And let's shall see how that goes. My name and reputation is buried deep within this company to begin with. It's a family name. Which I just built a sub-fleet, a smaller sub-fleet, and manageable operations under the mega fleet. I don't know if I'm gonna opt for the forward-facing smart drives camera system with my own trucks. I may just use my own dash cams with it. We shall see. However, I will opt for the pre-pass and a toll road transponder, even though I pay for each toll road myself, whichever the amounts may be, depending on how often I'm on the toll road. I could set my navigation to avoid toll roads, but that means essential outer route miles in terms of the dispatch miles, which are paid. Only the dispatch miles are paid. So we shall see. Depends on where I'm at in terms of the toll roads. So right now I'm heading out from Kansas for a drop about tomorrow in Colorado, and from there I shall move even further west-northwest, maybe something Salt Lake, or even I'm into Idaho or something like that before I turn back around for my few days time off to get my tax account business done. After all, I did have a discussion with the manager that I'm under, in this case the terminal manager, and he already approved of it in the discussion with me moving over from being a W-2 onto a 1099, working my way into my own fleet, owner-op, not glorified company driver, of course. I mean, until that unit is paid off and I got the title, it stick to this fleet. But once it's free and clear, that power unit can be leased onto just about any carrier I choose to, if not even reinstating my own authority, and get own trailers with a spot freight or build own customer base. It all just depends. The opportunities are there if I can get the things all built well enough within a decade or two. I shall get it onto the, possibly as a publicly traded company, for outside investors, issuing a certain amount of shares, which with a certain, share price, raising additional funds to keep building the business, and in turn offering either share buybacks or dividend value things. I have to look into that, but still a little bit down the road. Take it one truckload at a time. So I recently furthered positions in my investments and laid funds aside with strategic purpose into my high yield savings. Outside of that, bills are covered, and I already got myself things that I needed for the truck in terms of groceries, so on and so forth, and some personal hygiene items, and still got good amount of funds left split between my business banking account and my personal banking account outside of strategic savings. because I only get what I need in between always, so I'm not getting too much. I just get what I need on my groceries and what for the truck. And always tell my funds what job they have, and it's automatically how I do that. I have a certain range depending on how my funds are per week as the checks coming in, what I allocate to what. And with the overall consistency, things get done just fine. So, anybody that keeps just telling themselves a carrier of this size is just a starter carrier, a startup carrier. I mean, yes, it is great to start in the industry. However, for all of those that already been, driving in the industry for a very long time, this carrier has options and opportunities for personal goal growth. And you get respect at this carrier. And the reason why this carrier is all automatic fleet is just because that trucking school started training with the automatic restriction only. So out of operational perspective, they faded out all the manual transmissions from, which old school drivers like myself learned way back when, to not having to pull one a restricted driver, or not an unrestricted driver from an automatic back into a manual, just to get the restricted driver into that automatic. So henceforth, all bigger fleets just opted for strict automatics, so they don't have to do that. It saves time. It's more efficient in the long run for them in terms of, availability to their client base and customer service relations, if that makes sense. Like I said, it's not my preference with the automatics, but I'm just gonna start with automatic and building my business back up now with either a 2-year or a 3-year pay schedule agreement, depending on the year, the make, the model, the miles, all that good stuff, and the overall condition. And then whether the 2-year has a higher balloon on the end or a lower compared to the 3-year. I do believe they go all the way up to 4 years with truck models, which are then on the newer end of things. But I might opt for either the 2 or the 3 year, depending on which unit I can get to my liking. From all trucks they have on their fleets, it's gonna be anything but the Cascadia. Cascadia is just not my personal cup of tea. And a lot do not like the International LTs for aesthetic reasons for many drivers. Me personally, as far as this particular one, I like the way it's been pulling and operating. No complaints on that one. And I haven't had really any major issues with it either. So we shall see which type of former company equipment I might end up getting as a lease. And with that being said, with my initial inspections for that I choose to, you know, have my decals put on with at least 2, the carrier, stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and have from the steer axle all the way back on the power unit, put brand new Virgin tires on it. Those tires gotta be outside of fuel, also a pretty high expense. And have them balanced and aligned. And just about anything that I might find that needs to be done, I'm gonna make sure that it gets done before I even sign the contract. Plus on top of that, while the truck is getting worked on, that can take about 3 months or so. That time still rolling W2. I'm gonna go ahead and possibly lost my train of thought there for a sec. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get my taxation accounts set up in the meantime while I'm waiting for that truck to be done, plus go to a maybe in Topeka there is a guy that does decals, vehicle wrapping, basically, to with the pictures already off that truck, to have that guy work on the design close one of the hood latches. wouldn't be the first time that they would forget. That might be the sound that I'm getting. Anyhow, I keep allocate my funds to the side as my personal lifestyle stays very modest. Of course, classic menswear / Ivy prep / old money style that I keep wearing regardless. And I already know that I eventually see if I can get my own power unit only bobtail insurances for the equipment on a monthly based cost, and if not, then that just stays on the weekly costs through the carrier, with the weekly fixed costs, which include base plates and the dispatch computer, which should be what I'm having now, the Geotab, and if not, I'm gonna make sure they have the Geotab in there. And the pre-pass / scale bypass, pre-pass / toll road box, that is under the fixed cost, which will be under the variable cost, because every time you're rolling through toll roads, I'm not quite sure how they will, schedule those payments in terms of how they are built with it. But I'm gonna find that out, which is then, I guess it depends on the toll road, whether it's flat fee per axles or a fee per axles per mile on the toll road stretch. So that'd be something to find out in due time. Which, the more expenses in terms of operational expenses you have, the more write-off you get on your taxes. And if you run that business just right, then on paper it does not show any income, it just shows operational costs. And if you have no income at all because everything's been reinvested in the business, you don't have any income to be taxed. Even so, your bank account may say a completely different story. Not only write off the fuel costs, you write off the payments on the vehicle. You write off like when I'm getting the designs done for my decals, those labor costs are business related, that is write-off. If they get, once they get put on, that is another write-off. The miles driven, wear and tear against the value depreciation, write-off. Just about any other business related expense, really. So, including the fees that you're paying to the tax account, because it's business expense, business investment. So, plus what I have automatically, the way I got my payroll set up at the moment, I'm gonna keep it that way. Because what gets paid to my personal account is what I'm paying myself then as an employee. Which is then also a write-off against the overall taxes that may or may not be owed. Now, from that, what I'm paying myself out of the operational, from that portion, I have to lay money aside for the taxes. Each time I'm getting paid, regardless on what the fluctuation is. Now, on weeks where the trucks is down, and I'm starting with a negative, that is a write-off in terms of loss against profit. So you gotta know the numbers, and you gotta be smart with your numbers to be successful. You know, whether you got your truck straight from the dealership or through the company carrier you've been with to begin with. There's no difference on that one. You got to make sure that all your bills are covered and that you have money aside for investments and savings, and then a part of the savings, taxes. As the business, you know, the company itself sets up savings accounts for maintenance purposes. You got a mandatory, and then you got an optional. The optional is pretty much like an extended warranty, so if something major should happen to your equipment, like the engine blows, powertrain goes out, transmission goes out, then the carrier covers 80% of those expenses, and you yourself have to come up with only 20% of it, of the market value at the time. While then the mandatory maintenance account covers also, if you're unlucky, an essential heavy recovery tow truck bill on top of. Now that's not of the maintenance account, that'd be then out of your personal account or your business account rather, because it would be business expense. Hotel cost for as long as your truck is down. If you're not, if it's within reason. If it's too long down, then the company has an option to go get a loaner, where you're driving a loaner for the time being where your truck is down, and the loaner is covering the costs of the fixed payments. And then you still got your other costs that don't really change, I believe, as far as fuel costs and all that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna find that out for sure. So if you like any updates on that venue and journey, I will. Once I did get back on the 1099, contract, I will keep you guys updated with what my operational costs are, basically with 3 numbers: overall gross before operational costs for the miles driven in that week, and then the operational cost, how much it cost me. What will stay the same as the fixed costs per week, but in terms of what the fuel for the miles driven, and then the revenue, which is the true gross before tax after operations net, and with those funds keep laying funds aside to pay bills, save and invest, and keep my modest lifestyle. So and I do know how they calculate here in the fleet fuel mileage. It's not the fuel mileage the truck gets. It is the weekly dispatched miles driven divided by the number of gallons on fuel that you pump in that week. The number that you get from that tells you then basically your for that week MPG on average. So that is a great insider knowledge to be aware of, as I can match such things for my own business operations tracking. I mean, with their fuel card, they give you 5 cents a gallon discount. Fuel card be open, you can go just about anywhere in the book you choose to. Me personally, I'm gonna stick as much as I can to Love's truck stops. That's just what I prefer. And always gonna subtract from what the pump is gonna show at the end after I'm finished pumping. That pump price, I'm gonna basically take the number of gallons total times that by 5 cents, and that number I subtract from the fuel pump number, which is then the true fuel cost, what I spent then per fuel stop. Not adding in, of course, fuel surcharge, because fuel surcharge varies every time, and it's per mile based, so I'm not gonna take that then into my initial calculation, but basically what it would be from my division that I'm driving, the base per mile rate of $1.16 plus the fuel surcharge per every dispatched mile on top of it, which raises then the, you know, up to $1.35, $1.45, $1.50, whatever it may be at that time per mile. To help offset some of the operational costs during the lease term. Now, once the truck is paid off, there's a lot of the expenses that fall off. Truck payment is one of them. Then you have between 400 and 500 some a week more automatically. And if I should opt to be a driver trainer, I can get trainees on the truck and make an additional $200 a week while they're under my wing, plus still getting paid the same mileage rate for every mile driven. Now when it comes to fuel, and I would presume trainees got their own fuel card on company, so only when I'm fueling with my card that I would have to cover the fuel cost, but don't quote me on that. I'm gonna find that out and weigh my options out in that regard, because it will be primarily a solo operation, as I have to ride shotgun with the trainees operating my truck. So we're gonna see how that all goes. Yeah. Just feel free to subscribe to my channel. It's only gonna take a second to learn more and stay tuned about those changes coming up with me moving from W2 position onto a little bit higher risk, business, higher risk, with also a potential higher return. And keep growing equity in the business over a certain time, where I shall in due time retire myself from behind the wheel and just take operations to keep growing that business as the trucks keep generating revenue out on the road. So yeah, we shall see how long that might take me to build it all up, but it shall be built up.
In 1.25 miles, turn right on US 75 North.
Yeah, okay, well, appreciate you guys stopped by and watched till the end. Once again, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and share. See you in the next video. Der Trucker.